and send your text messages on the topic for the day. And if you just joined this program for the first time, I would say you are welcome. And I have explained all that it is to be on the program then and now on this station, Pensioners FM 106.7. And according to how we do it here, we always have our quote for the day. And that's going to start us on the right track and make us to understand why we even started this program in the first place. So, Robert Kiyosaki says the best way to predict the future is to study the past. And that is our quote for the day. The best way to predict the future is to study the past. That is our quote for the day once again, if you didn't get it. And you can see me live on this program. You can see what I'm wearing and how my hair is spoiling and everybody else in the studio on Pensioners FM 106.7 on our Facebook page. Pensioners FM 106.7, of course. And you can also stream this program live on our website, www.pensionersfm106.7. And you can call in this program, but that will be in the second half of this segment. But you can send your text messages and I'll read them out and I'll give you the number to send your text on, and that is 0701 306 7897. You can send your comments, contributions on this program and also on our topic for the day, which I haven't called you, of course. And you can send them via text messages and I would read them out. Please remember to include your name and where you're calling from on your text messages. So we're going to look at one of the topics that I have been dying to actually talk about on this program, and that is electricity distribution then and now. Electricity distribution then and now. I have always been wanting to talk about this topic. I don't know why. I just like power, so I've always been. And today I get the chance to say it. So, thank you, universe. I think some people are excited, but then again, it's allowed. So I'm going to calm down and be serious. And let's talk about how electricity started in Nigeria. Interesting. So we can trace our electricity distribution from, or electricity development, sorry, for as far back as the 19th century, when the first generating plant was installed in Lagos. Well, and that was in 1898. Wow. And then we have the Electricity Corporation of Nigeria, which is the ECN, that was established in 1950 as a central body to take over all the various electricity supply in the country. As moving on to what we popularly know as NEPA, that is the National Electric Power Authority, that was formed in the 1972. Wow. And that's one of the most popular times. I think I remember everybody says NEPA now. So, interesting. I'm trying not to bore you with the long details of how we started, because I'm not the one to actually say that I have, someone on ground who is well grounded to actually talk about that. But then again, I am tempted to give you a brief history. And we move along to when NEPA was changed to PHCN, and that was in May 2005. That was the beginning of privatization of the electrical distribution company in Nigeria. And PHCN was later broken down into 18 companies. We have six generating companies, which were the GENCOs, which we refer to as the GENCOs, and we have one transmission company of Nigeria, which is TCS, and 11 distribution companies. Oh, the ones you actually see on the meeting now. So that's one of them. So we have the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, we have the Benin Electricity Distribution Company, Eco Electricity Distribution Company, and of course, now since we mentioned Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IDEC. I'm not going to mention the others, which they are 11, definitely they are 11 distribution companies in Nigeria right now. And I have a wonderful guest on this program with me here, and she is no other than Mrs. Regina. She is Mrs. Regina Samuel Adelekun, and she is the regional communication officer for Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company here right here in our own city. So you're welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you and good morning, Ibadan.
Thank you. Well, and she's a beautiful person, wonderful personality. I'm in love with her right now. So I'm going to dive into our topic for today, and that is electricity distribution then and now. Also based on your expertise, how will you describe electricity distribution then?
Thank you very much, Juliet, and good morning. Thank you for the privilege to come and talk about our little business. Electricity distribution, like I'm going to talk about Ibadan Disco. You have already laid the foundation of what it looks like. It's a value chain business from the generation company to the transmission company, then to the disco, then from the disco to the end user. Now, to a layman, generation is he who is the producer of the product. Transmission is he who transmits, who wields the power from the generation plants and then to the discos, to our injection substations, and then us to you, the end users. Those other two are little. The two, the other two in the value chain are what people don't really know because they are not in the open. Um, and sometimes you have a lot of people telling you, um, we don't know all that. Just give us the slides. And I get so worried sometimes when you even try to educate the educated people that it doesn't run like that. You don't give people what you don't have. What do we do in the disco? The disco is the distributor of the end product after being generated and transmitted. Then to you, our customers, it gets to your doorpost without you seeing how the car was moving to bring the electricity. But
You just want the finished product.
yes, but there are wires that would have crossed from car engine or from the gas turbines to get to our injection substation, and then it gets to your house. Sometimes you find people saying, "What do you mean? How would you not have this? We bought the transformer ourselves. We did this ourselves. We did that." And I go, "Thank you very much for trying to give yourself comfort because it's a partnership." But do you realize that if you come with a product and you don't have where to, like a warehouse first, that product can get to your house, could not get to your end user's point. What am I trying to say? Now, on your way to Lagos, there's an interchange. You'll see some heavy duty machine distribution transformers there. That is an injection substation. And if this power comes from the Genco that is being wheeled by the transmission, you see in the bush some tall towers. That's what transports it from the source. Then if it doesn't get to our injection substation, it will be pretty difficult to get to you. So distribution is hectic, capital intensive, and people don't want to understand certain times because of the anxiety and the demand for it. Yesterday, there were so many ways of doing this thing. Yesterday was mostly hydro.
Sorry, ma, I don't mean to cut you. I'm actually enjoying the story. But when you're telling people all these things, they're not professional. These are laymen. And explain to them, trust me, their mind is like, okay, when are we, how can we get the power? When are we getting the power? Why is the power failure everywhere? And that's why I actually brought this topic, because if you look at what has happened actually, you know, um, some people will say, oh, back then electricity was superb. There's no all this stress and everything.
That is where I'm going to.
Oh,
Now, yesterday, that was why I said electricity yesterday. Electricity yesterday, there were fewer customer population. The infrastructures were new. They could accommodate the population. And then the customer attitude was beautiful in terms of paying his bill and wanting a better services. And then in those days, we were using postpaid meter, mechanical meters, where you use the power before you pay. Now, as a nation, we have not generated enough, so you don't give people what you don't have. As a distribution company, you can't influence the generation. Maybe with your data, it could influence the generation to be able to do more. It's like you run a Bini restaurant and you had cooked for 10 people. In the first day, you sold for 8. By the next day, you had 12 people and you still repeated 10 people's meal. Of course, it's either you reduce the quantity you sell or or the quality. Now, yesterday, the people that were in need of this were few, but today we have more. Now, it takes a lot to be able to update in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the demand. Industries needed to survive. I used to say this, that power is sweeter than oil, because not everybody in the neighborhood has the small gen call I pass my neighbor. But everybody needs power to be able to power his fridge, power his rechargeable lamp, power his electrical appliances. And today with what we have, the handset, you need it to be charged for you to get in touch with people. So the demand yesterday was lower than what it is today.
that's why there's a change.
Yes,
That's
and then
what I see.
with technology, things are changing. Initially, it was hydro plants, but today we have more gas plants. Now, the gas plants are supposed are to help, because the hydro plants in the rainy season, the waters are high, the water levels are high, so you can generate more. But in the dry season, the water has come down. So, education and technology has helped to improve, and that is why we have the gas.
Ma, let me sorry to cut you down on the I think the popular question that someone might even ask right now is the hydro plant. See that during the rainy season, the water is high, and so you can generate more power.
Yes,
But
please.
during the rainy season, there seems to be like shortage of power distribution.
No, you see, what do you understand as shortage? I have done a foundation talk of, as a nation we have not generated enough. Now, if you don't give people what you don't have.
So like during the rainy season.
Get
Okay.
me
All
first.
right, ma'am.
At when you don't have, and I took an analogy of, you started a restaurant
Yes.
cooking for 10.
And there are
First day
more
you
people.
sold for 8. Today, the next day you had 12 people, and then you still repeated the same quantity because yesterday you had a bad experience of 2 plates left. Now, why am I putting us to that so that we can understand what it really looks like? Now, it's not because the discos do not want to distribute. Of course, electricity is not like water. If you have a beautiful storage tank, you can keep your water for the next 3 years if nobody has tampered with where the water can leak. But electricity is what you generate now and you must consume now. So sometimes we find people wanting to use electricity at their own time. And this electricity that is not enough cannot be used like that.
You just
So
answered that question because that was what I was wanting to say. I think most people will actually think that they want to use electricity at their own time. That this is when I want to. So it's not available. That means there's no electricity.
you see, if you understand how your system works, that if you eat in the morning, that after 6 you can't eat again, and you eat by 8 o'clock p.m., and then you're found your stomach is constipated, and then you begin to think somebody has done you some African jazz. You're not being fair to yourself, and you're refusing to understand how your body system works. Like I said, we have not generated enough. South Africa has, do not have the statistics in detail, but I know they generate about 40,000 megawatt, and they use barely like but very like 10 or thereabout. They still have in excess of about 40,000. Now we as a nation are battling between 5, 4. When the hydro plants and the other things have issues, we go to 2,
That's low,
2,000 megawatts
low in
as
comparison.
compared to 200 million Nigerians. So that was why I took that analogy. A mother that has 10 kids and has managed to cook five five milk tins of rice, will they be satisfied? It can't be possible. So the issue is huge. It is not a one day magic.
So the population has forced
Yes.
to
Now the population and the developmental infrastructural development are supposed to work side by
side by
side.
side. So a lot of things need more
Now
power.
that was what gave birth to the privatization, that we may grow from that level. Somebody else should come and do it in a different form.
So I want to even go to that point of capitalization, and I'll say which of them is actually much better now. Which of them is more?
I cannot. If you ask me, you would think what I'm saying is I'm being selfish because I work there. But there are newer ways of doing things. Little added value. We talk to our customers more now. Every IBDC staff is trained to be cordial, to be customer friendly. And then over time, some of us are learning, but some of us are still struggling, because this has to do with attitude of the human being. Now,
So it's more personal. So you can't attribute it to because this
mm,
person is true to you. That means every
but
time. So it's
yes,
just personal.
yes, because every day, every quarter or between a particular period, everybody is being trained.
Train. So
In the morning, before you even go out to do your work, your team lead, your boss talks to you on how to, reminds you, because it's a code that you already have, reminds you. But you find some people going to work and leaving the tool behind. and the tool is the mind. So that's why you still have some people doing it in the old manner. So that boils down to the issue of the attitude. Now,
That boils down to even human nature.
thank you.
Yes.
So you see, in the time past, now we have there in those days it was mechanical postpaid
Meters
meters
and now it's
moved
prepaid.
to electronic uh,
Prepaid.
postpaid first. Then it now moved to prepaid,
Paid meters.
where you buy before you use. Now, in those days, there were those other ones that you need to have the card, you insert it before the energy comes up.
Oh, I don't know about that. Tell us about that. That's interesting.
Yes, the first set of prepaid are the ones that you will get a card like your ATM card with a chip, and then when you buy, you've got to take it there and you've got to insert. Then we've grown to the level of non we call it non-STS. That's the one that is just your meter number. You don't have to have that card, you just know the meter number, which carries your profile. And then you go to the office or via your at your convenience. There are so many other platforms where you can buy energy. But this also is faced with the challenge of network at certain times. So not because it is not meant, it is meant to make it so easy. In the time past when we used to be children, I remember when you have a family that is abroad that is going to call you, you find yourself sitting in your neighbor's house, practically helping them to do the work you don't do in your home because they are privileged to have a phone and you needed to talk to that relative. So you find yourself being there for the next 3 hours, you're waiting for that call, and the network can be so crazy. So we have transformed from the various type of meters to smart prepaid meters.
Let me call Chima. Let me call the number to text. I'm sure some people want to say something about this. That number to text is 0701 306 7897. 0701 306 7897. So please text in your questions or comments or suggestions to our wonderful guest right here. So thank you. Um, Thank you for also bringing up that issue, of how it was back then, the analogs, and use the illustration of if your neighbor has a phone back then and you want to talk to someone abroad, you have to just wait there, for a long time, or commit yourself to some things that you shouldn't be doing. It's just for you to assess a call through to outside the country or somewhere else. Even back, I think back then there was not even major phone, so you want to call your friend or your family somewhere, you still have to go through that process. So between the postpaid meters and the prepaid meters, which one is better? Because most people still prefer, the postpaid meter, the fact that they'll come and give them bill and you use the power before you are charged. And they say they don't like the way you have to pay for the power now, and you are using it, so they don't like that stress. They prefer when you have to just go and pay for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and you are done and use the power anyhow you
The
like.
problem we have is we are a people that are beautiful, but we really don't like change. Electricity is not what you said because last month I used 2,000, this month I'll use 2,000. It is not static. Now, for you will find yourself like, okay, last month you could even use 3,000. This month you could go less. The upper month you go higher. So, some people, business owners who want to survive, will tell you, okay, I'll prepare the postpaid. Um, I'll use before I pay you thereafter, which has its advantage, has its disadvantage. Not the main thing is the attitude to payment is very crucial because that is the sustenance of the business. Because over time, all the equipment that gets power to our homes at a particular period need to be
Change.
replaced, changed, and upgraded, and the likes of others. You get. So if you always think of how it would be better for you, not considering that any attitude that is not that is any customer attitude that is not friendly will either kill the business or it will lift the business to greater heights. So you see, we also love the prepaid where you give us money first before you use. But it also has a major challenge to the supposed elites who can even afford it. An average, a few people still love to tamper with it. But thank God for the device we have today, who checks record when last did you buy light, and we check the hours of supply in your area, and then we can come up and say there's something fishy about this customer. You can buy 2,000 for the last 3 months, and then you get a minimum of 10 hours per day. That energy should finish. Not not because we have planned it, but you on your security lights, you wash your clothes
You use power every
a
day,
day,
every
you
time.
know. But you have people using their eyes to quantify electricity, but it is not doable. So over time, metering has been a challenge, but we're trusting that soon with a policy that has come up now, a collabo between the regulator and us, the discos, it is going to breach the gap.
And why there's a question that always you know breaks my head every time I think about it. Why do people bypass? Why do people do that? You know,
The heart of man is beautiful. But as the scripture says, the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who can understand except God? Sometimes you can't fathom that people that even are paid from their offices for the they give you the allocation to pay for your bills, you find yourself diverting it to do another thing. It's a human mind thing, which has slowed down our pace of growth.
but there's a time whereby nobody thought of bypassing. It was
No,
uh,
it had existed, but it's just that the level was low because it's fraud. So you don't erase fraud, you only reduce fraud
but now
because
it has been elevated.
now the in fact I don't know what I used to quantify. If you visit 10 houses, sincerely, if you visit 10 houses, you'll be sure that 6, if not 7, have tampered with their meter.
Wow.
So you begin to wonder that how can one be efficient when the product, and then from the source, there's a meter which quantifies the quantum of energy that is sold to Ibadan. And Ibadan covers Oyo State, Ogun State, Kwara, Oshun,